What happens when you believe you can have it all: friends, freedom, and fun without consequences? What if you thought keeping everything in balance would be easy, only to realize that you were blind to the price you were paying all along? And what if you were left alone, without anyone who truly sees you for who you are? This is the story of what happens when the world decides to stop taking you seriously, and you're left questioning your decisions, your relationships, and your identity. I always thought I was in control. I mean, who doesn't? Growing up, I was taught to be independent, strong, and capable. I didn't need anyone to tell me how to live my life, and I definitely didn't need anyone's approval, especially when it came to my friendships with guys. The world could tell me I was too close to my guy friends, but I didn't care. I was a free spirit, a confident woman, and I wanted to make my own choices. After all, what harm could there be in having a close-knit group of guy friends, right? At first, everything seemed fine. My guy friends were great company, easy to talk to, and they always had my back. I didn't see the problem. My boyfriend was supportive, even if he raised a brow now and then when I hung out with my friends alone. But that was normal, wasn't it? Relationships are about trust, after all. He had his own friends and I had mine. We had a balance. But then things started to change, slowly at first, like a crack in the foundation of a house you never noticed until it's too late. The tension began with small moments. My boyfriend would ask about my plans and I would casually mention that I was hanging out with one of my guy friends. He'd smile, but his eyes would linger a little too long, like he was reading between the lines. At first, I brushed it off. I trusted him, and I knew he trusted me. But then, something shifted. He started to question me more, asking about who I was hanging out with, when I'd be back, and how long I'd be gone. At first I thought it was cute he cared, right? But then it turned into something else. A constant nagging, a sense that I was being scrutinized, and it started to feel suffocating. I could feel it, the unspoken pressure. But instead of backing down, I doubled down. I told him, I can't give up my guy friends. They're my friends and nothing will ever change that. In my mind, this was a simple statement of independence. I didn't want to lose myself for the sake of anyone, even if it meant rocking the boat a little. But what I didn't realize was that my words were more than just a statement. They were a declaration of something far bigger. I was willing to push everyone away, including the one person who mattered most to me. I didn't see it then, but my refusal to give up my guy friends started to create a rift, not just between my boyfriend and me, but with everyone around me. My friends, both guys and girls, started to pull away. The ones I thought would always have my back because we shared a connection built on trust, and laughter seemed to grow distant. It wasn't obvious at first. We'd still hang out, still text, but the warmth started to fade. The messages became fewer, the invites less frequent, and soon I found myself wondering why I wasn't being included in plans anymore. One evening, I sat alone in my apartment, scrolling through my phone. There were messages from my guy friends, some funny memes, some updates about their lives, but nothing felt real anymore. It was all surface level. They didn't ask me how I was really doing. They didn't offer support. They didn't seem to care about the struggles I was facing with my boyfriend. It was as though they had slowly detached from me, emotionally, without me even realizing it. And I wondered for the first time if I had ever really mattered to them the way I thought I did. It was in that moment of realization that I saw the truth. By holding on so tightly to my guy friends, I had pushed everyone else away. The people who truly mattered, the ones who supported me, who wanted to see me grow, had slowly become ghosts in my life. My boyfriend, the one person who was supposed to be there for me, was now just a distant figure in the background, no longer understanding me or my need for independence. The hardest part, though, was realizing that the ones who mattered most to Memi Guy Friendshad never really cared about me the way I wanted to believe. The bond I thought we had was built on something shallow, something that could be easily torn apart by my own actions. I had insisted on keeping things light and casual, thinking I could handle it all. But what I didn't realize was that every time I told someone, I can't give up my guy friends, I was building walls between me and the people who really mattered. I was pushing away love, trust, and commitment, all for the sake of maintaining an image of freedom. It was a hard lesson to learn, but it was the one I needed. The truth is, you can't have everything. You can't expect to keep your life unbalanced and still have people take you seriously. I thought I could maintain this facade of having everything together, of being the girl who could handle both worlds, the girl who was independent, strong, and carefree. But in doing so, I lost sight of the relationships that truly meant something. And in the end, I was left alone, looking back at the wreckage I had created with my own hands. The hardest part wasn't realizing that I had lost people. It wasn't even about my boyfriend or my guy friends, it was the fact that I had lost myself. I had become so wrapped up in proving something to the world that I forgot to nurture the connections that mattered. I forgot that sometimes true strength comes not from holding on to everything, but from knowing when to let go. I had to come to terms with the fact that, in trying to maintain a facade of control, I had abandoned the very people who could have helped me grow and learn from my mistakes. Now I find myself sitting in a quiet room, reflecting on everything I lost. The lessons are painful, but they are also freeing. I can't change what happened, but I can change how I move forward. I've learned that sometimes we don't see the cracks in our own lives until they've already shattered. But that doesn't mean it's too late to pick up the pieces. It just means that next time, I'll be more careful with who I trust, who I give my time to, and most importantly, how I view myself. I'm still learning. Every day is a new chance to grow and become more aware of the choices I make. But one thing I know for sure, I won't make the same mistake again. I won't choose to isolate myself for the sake of holding on to something that wasn't meant to last, and I won't let anyone tell me who I should be. I'll learn to be true to myself, and this time I'll make sure I'm surrounded by the people who truly see me. In the end, the one thing that matters most is authenticity. Not just with the people around you, but with yourself. So if you're listening to this and wondering if it's too late to fix things, I promise you it's not. Take the time to reevaluate your relationships, to examine what's truly important to you, and to decide whether holding on to something that's not serving you is worth losing everything else.